Good damn morning, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Bum, bum, bum. The China virus, it's getting real. California, or my county at least, has issued the shelter-in-place order. I posted it on my YouTube page under community, and I put it on my Facebook page, the email that we got from the county. It even shows the official paperwork that explains I guess you would call that an ordinance, but it explains who it affects, how it affects you, the rules. It's as far as enforcement, you can be fined or jailed. It is a misdemeanor to not obey the shelter-in-place order, but it basically said, because it had common questions and then it answered them, and one of them was, what happens if I don't obey the order? It says, there's no like enforcement. It will be monitored, but really it's just the honor system. You know, don't be a dick, follow the rules. Let's try not to further infect each other, because yesterday there were 2 cases found in my county. So that's why they have the shelter-in-place order. I mean, you know the deal. It's pretty much the same around the country for all the other places who have enacted the shelter-in-place order. So, yeah, I mean, we need to rely on each other to obey the rules to get this thing under control. And last night, my wife was reading up on it and stuff, and basically, because I was like most other people, the fuck is so bad about the coronavirus? And again, there's no need to be hysterical about it and hoard shopping and all that crazy shit. But basically, there's nothing they can do if you get it. If you have a strong enough immune system, you ride that shit out. If you're elderly or you have a compromised immune system, it could be a problem. And my wife was reading up on it, and our kids had some moderate health issues in the past, and my wife has been like a fucking pit bull with a bone. Nothing has stopped her from finding things to help them. She's been diligent. She's been focused. She's been great. So I thank her for that. I love you. But yeah, shelter-in-place order for the coronavirus around here. And Gavin, bang your wife Newsom, said that schools probably won't open for the rest of the year. So, you know, it's really affecting people. It really is. We've never seen anything like this. Like, my wife is having to come up with basically a lesson plan to homeschool my daughter. She's in 2nd grade. My son's in preschool. Not such a big deal with him, but there are things that we need to do with him as well. You know, the things they do in school, we need to kind of continue that for him too. But we didn't realize how much my daughter does in school. Science, math, reading, spelling, all that shit. It's because, you know, we drop them off in the morning, we pick them up in the afternoon. How was your day? They give us a very, they give us a synopsis of the day, but you really don't get the gravity of it until you have to do it yourself. So, shout out to all you teachers. I didn't know, but now I know. So luckily, my sister-in-law, she is a teacher at my daughter's school. So my wife will definitely be in contact with her as far as, you know, how to prepare a lesson plan, you know, to homeschool, basically. For those of us who have kids in grade school and up, we're about to be homeschooling, basically. So, yeah, this shit is real. You talk about hitting home. It has officially hit home. Now, luckily, and another thing, it explains what an essential, you know, business is, or things like that, because it's basically all you can leave for. Medical stuff, you know, you get medicine, doctor's appointments, food, shit like that if you're a government employee, but no, you know, dinner parties and hanging out and all that kind of shit. Anything that is not absolutely necessary will cease and desist. Now, yesterday I mentioned that there was an $800 million relief package planned by the Trump administration, now I've seen numbers as high as $1.2 trillion, and they want to give every American $1,000 to get through this pandemic. I have mixed feelings on that. I mean, who wouldn't want $1,000 to fall out of the sky? That would be great. But $1,000 ain't shit. That's going to be gone like that, especially if you have a family, if you live in a place like California where the taxes are high as giraffe pussy and the cost of living is higher, then yeah, that $1,000 is going to go even, is going to do even less. I'm thinking, why not have us pay taxes for the rest of the year? No federal, no state, no Medicare, none of that shit. Social Security, we're not paying into any of that. You remember that number on your check called gross? I learned a long time ago when I was 14 and a half and I got my work permit. Now, I've been working way longer than that, but as far as official 9-to-5 paycheck work, got my work permit when I was 14 and a half, got a job at McDonald's after school. I learned real quick, I learned real early, don't pay attention to that gross. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Don't concern yourself with that number, because that number is none of your damn business. All you need to be concerned with is that net. So ever since that day, I just look at the net. But now we have an opportunity, I guess you call it an opportunity, kind of a fucked up opportunity, to get that gross. So why not do that? Number one, it'll be way more than $1,000, and it'll do way more. I mean, imagine getting your full check without all those damn deductions. It's like looking at a damn cell phone bill. You're like, why do I pay all this damn money? Then you look at all these surcharges in California, this tax and that tax. So I'm not the smartest man on the block. Am I wrong? Should we not do that? I mean, what is that $1,000 gonna do? And I get the sentiment behind it, but $1,000 ain't shit, to be honest. So don't take my taxes out. And the $1,000 is my money. That's tax money. That's my money. That's like you're in a house and all you're doing is going to get money out of a different room. It's still my money. So why don't you just take none of it and let me keep all the money that I worked so hard for? I don't see a problem with that shit. You tell me. And lastly, fucking China, you son of a bitch. This is your fault. Again. How many fucking diseases and viruses named after the animal that they ate or fucked need to come out of China? SARS, swine flu, bird flu, all that shit. Now this coronavirus, or COVID-19 as they're calling it, whatever the fuck that means. This is China's fault. They knew about it. They downplayed it. They didn't quarantine it properly. That's why Italy's so fucked up. They have a huge textile industry there that is powered by Chinese labor. So they have this influx of Chinese people. That's why they're hit so hard by the China virus, Wuhan virus, whatever you want to call that shit. This is China's fault. So why is this 1.2 trillion coming from us? Imagine how much better it would be if that 1.2 trillion came from somewhere else. So we don't have to just print up money and put ourselves further into debt. Something needs to happen to China. The tariffs aren't going to be good enough. Now, what about wiping our debt from China? We don't owe you shit now. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Militarily, they aren't going to do shit. They've already done something to us. They've infected our population. Part of it with a disease that there's no cure for. A disease that you hope you're healthy enough to survive. A girl I went to high school with, her daughter, what was it, the 27th of December? She died of the flu. She was 13. This shit can happen. All because some fucking country didn't handle it right. They didn't do their job. Now here we are. Their poor planning is now our emergency. And that's fucked up. China needs to pay. Now, either you're going to give us free shit for the next 5 years, or you're wiping our debt clean, or we're taking all the property back that somehow we allowed you to acquire in our country. What the fuck does China own land here? I don't get that. If you're an American citizen, if you can afford it, buy that shit. But why are we allowing a foreign government to buy up property here? Well, Jericho, America does that too. I don't give a fuck. I don't live there. I live here. I'm not one of them. I'm an American. I don't give a fuck what goes on around the world unless it affects me. It does now, so China needs to pay. We are the piper. You need to pay us. You corrupt commie motherfuckers. So what's going to be the penalty on China for doing this to the world? And why don't we take our hats off and go around the world for a little collection plate action? They do that shit to us. Let some building collapse on somebody who's the first one there with golden retrievers sniffing around the fucking rubble. America. So why don't you say, and I guess there's some businessman in China who sent a 500,000 masks or some shit like that. Some supplies. Thanks. But this shit needs to come from the Chinese government. You fucked us for the last time. China needs to pay. This is their fucking fault. Look at the stock market. Look at what this is doing to our economy. Look at what it's doing to people's jobs. The hospitality industry, forget it. China needs to pay. Fuck them. You did this shit. That 1.2 trillion or whatever it is should not come from us. I shouldn't be given relief money with my own money. It needs to come from the source of the problem. If we're at a community pool and I take a shit in it, why would I charge you to clean it up? That's my fault. I shit in the pool. I gotta clean that up. I gotta pay restitution, not the people who are affected by my fucking turd. What's going on here? China needs to have a pocket check done on them. America needs to go over there and check that pocket. Give me your wallet. We need to be Debo right now. We need to be Debo. China needs to be Smokey, and we need to go up in that house and get that money. Give me my fucking money, China, you assholes. So now that my blood pressure is through the damn roof, let me hop in this rat race. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell, because every time it rings, a piece of shit liberal cries. Utilize the PayPal link and the Teespring link to get your green gear. And do not forget to get your Jericho Green notification tone. Link in the description box. It's just $1.29. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.